What's up, guys? On this job we're going to be installing some pavers back here between this existing walkway and this garden bed area. As you can see, it's kind of close quarters, so we're not going to be able to get any heavy equipment back here. So this is all going to be dug out by hand with no heavy machinery. This will be a good demonstration of what it would be like to do a DIY job. The customer's having a hard time getting grass here. He's been trying for years, and with the mower that comes through, they have a lawn service, it always turfs up the ground, so grass hasn't been able to get established here. And then bringing stuff in and out of the shed, same deal. So he decided, you know what, let's put some brick pavers down so he doesn't have to deal with that anymore. You're going to want to use a digging bar or a pickaxe to loosen up the soil, and then switch over to just using a shovel. It's always best to try to establish an edge and then just start digging off of that. You want to keep your cut as flat and level as possible, so I recommend having a flat shovel as well as a spade. In our case, we have to haul all this dirt out of here, but if you're lucky, maybe you could reuse it on your property somewhere. Now that it's been dug out, we put down our geostabilization fabric and have it stapled in place. You want to make sure you dug down at least 9 inches so you have enough room for your base. This is the base right here. We're using 3/4 clean stone. This is really good. It's called open grade base. It's definitely your best option if you're doing DIY without any machines, because this stone, they say, is 95% compacted, just being dumped on the ground as is. I still would recommend hitting it with the plate tamper or a plate compactor if you have one, just to be on the safe side and make sure it's solid. And they're just wheelbarrowing this over, getting it raked out, spread out in the area. This base is about 6 inches deep, and that's part of the reason why you need it to be 9 inches to account for a 6-inch base, a 1-inch screeding bed, and then your pavers themselves. Here it is, hitting it with the hand tamper. This is 3H chipstone. It's basically the same type of stone as what the base is, just smaller, and we use that to get our screeding bed down. We put these pipes down so we could get a nice level screed bed. You can see we're using a big level. If you don't have a level, you could always use a piece of 2x4 or 2x6 as long as it's straight. But the pipes and running level across the pipes really helps and makes things a little bit easier. This is the leveled area. Sometimes you will have some bumps here and there, and I usually keep a mag float or a trowel nearby to smooth it out as you go. And you'll see that here in just a minute once we start laying down the brick pavers. So we have to bring the pavers over to the area in the barrel. I like to put down a piece of fabric between the layers just so they're not scratching each other up. You know, it'll give you a better finish. Doesn't really take any extra time, just to be on the safe side here. Put as many in the barrel as as you feel fit for you. They're not incredibly heavy, but that's 4 layers they put in there, so that's probably a 200-pound barrel. And now they're getting them laid. They're going down with the, you can see the dead blow hammer, so they're kind of leveling the blocks as they go. And then to the right is that float I was telling you about. You can see Phil smoothing out the area before he puts some pavers down. This is kind of a funky spot since we're connecting 2 existing paved areas together. You know, it's all 3 different materials, but there wasn't a lot of options for us, and the customer didn't want to redo the garden bed area or redo the paver walkway completely with different pavers. Actually, now that I said that, I do have a video. We did pressure wash and re-poly sand that existing paver patio and walkway. I'll leave a link in the description below in case you didn't see that. Check that out. And don't forget, guys, to drop me a comment and give the video a thumbs up. Let me know what you think here. I know it's a small job, but I figured I would share it. I get a lot of comments on the paver videos, I guess, from DIYers saying that, oh, it doesn't look like a job you can do, you know, without heavy equipment. You definitely can do this job without heavy equipment, but it's obviously a little bit more labor intensive. I think this walkway patio area, that we'll call it, is about 180 square feet. So it's not huge, but it's not, you know, that small either. The cuts, we're using the cut-off saw over there. You could do it with a handheld grinder if you don't have one. Now the guys are getting the poly sand swept in, and they're tamping the pavers down. Using that plate compactor helps vibrate it into the bottom of the joint. But again, if you don't have that, you could probably go around with your hand tamp and just tap it on. That would help. Or you could always rent one of those plate compactors from Home Depot. Once everything's swept in, then you just hit it with the hose to activate the sand and you're done. Like I said, guys, don't forget to drop me a comment, give me a thumbs up. Let me know what you think of this job. Let Phil and Dylan know how they did on it. They were basically here by themselves while I was dealing with some other stuff.